Discretion is advised.
Happy Monday. You are listening and or watching PWNCAST. This is episode 161. We are in patch 7.2. Tonight we're going to be talking about all the rando news from around Azeroth and the Blizzard universe, really. Destiny 2 coming to Battle.net that has nothing to do with World of Warcraft but is affecting the game tokens in World of Warcraft. So we're going to talk about that and what that means. Method versus Serenity. The saga ends with a flush and a cry. We have that and much, much more, so make sure you guys stay right here.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there is a group that defies convention. A group that stands in the face of trolls and doesn't flinch. A group that strives on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve. A group that eats tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a Chaos Bolt, Bell, the PWNCAST Vanguard. Snap back and get faster for the pet battle Grandmaster, Gemma Banks. He's sharp as a dagger with that dapper swagger, Secret Sauce. With holy might as strong as his ancient knowledge, Remedy's the Argent Loremaster. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are PWNCAST.
Well, I'm back. We're back. And I'm going to unmute these guys pretty straight away, I think.
Back again.
So you guys will probably notice we are down secret. I don't know why. Have no clue.
Bell,
What?
where'd you get that?
What'd I get what?
That silly look on your face?
You're so stupid. We are down secret. Not sure why, but he's not here, and that's okay. We're going to keep on trucking because that's what we do, and we are motherfucking professionals, guys. We did match, me and Rem, and then he changed his shirt. But if you Rem and I. If you follow me on Snapchat that you've already seen, I did post.
Ooh,
and
let me look.
If you do not follow me on Snapchat, Samantha is it, and you will see we were twinning, guys. Twinning. It's the Goonies. What? Goonies never say die, dude. Loot Crate.
Hey, you guys.
You do that a little too well.
Hey, you guys.
I did bring the rest of the Riders of Rohan with me. I did bring the monk who is rusty in PvP pet battles because he is a scrub.
No.
That wasn't in
so
there.
much for being the Grandmaster, Gemma.
What have you done for us lately? I'm still a Grandmaster, and actually from the stream from where the PvP pet battles were happening, I've started putting together a list on how to become a Grandmaster pet battler. But I lost a couple PvP pet battles just based on mistake here and there, and sometimes it's that damn Terraclaw hatchling. I use one on my team, but if you don't have one, it can like fix your mistakes and make you lose a match, if that makes sense.
So then it's OP.
Yeah, it's definitely it's OP.
So you're listing steps to be a Grandmaster.
Well, someone asked me, I'm like, man, I can't tell you. And then I'm like, well, you got to do this, and then you got to do this, and then I'm like,
Step 1, steal the underpants. Step 3, profit. No?
Yeah.
Step 1 is start in Pallet Town.
Yeah.
I don't
Happy Rock Week.
I don't understand what any of that means, but I'm glad to see you back in the saddle, as it were, helping people out reach the tremendous heights of pet battling in that scene, because you are
Banks is doing reach arounds now? What?
I mean, he doesn't like to advertise because then he doesn't even get any rest because there's people beating down his door.
Don't you start, Rem.
Beating down his door with rubber gloves even. I hope it's with rubber gloves anyway.
Gotta be sanitary.
Yeah.
I did also bring the Paladin who is ready to get back in arenas because he too has been scrubby, not in the land of World of Warcraft, and I am going to call him out, Rem.
I'm a gamer. I play other games, but I do play a lot of World of Warcraft still.
Earlier, he's like, I'm in blah, 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 and I'm like, where's that? Not Azeroth.
I'm not even gonna say it because then you're gonna use it against me.
I probably will. I'll and even if I tell you it's okay, I'll still bring it up later because that's the kind of chick I am.
I know that. It's happening right now.
I hold a grudge. I hold a grudge forever. I'm also really sad, Panda, because I have this much water and we still have like an hour and a half of the show.
I brought an extra. If you want.
So what you're saying is you're gonna have to pee the whole time.
No, this is all I have. I already did that business. Rem? So...
But no, so that Battleground sucks, so I did arenas instead.
It does not suck.
Yeah, it was pretty. A lot of people loved it. Spanky Hunter, I know you're one of them. I think that's great that you loved it.
As a hunter, he liked it.
I thought it was not my favorite of all the brawls.
If you can actually get the ball, I would assume it's fun, but it ends up being just a team deathmatch.
I know you're not that good with the balls, Rem. Jim is definitely better.
You did that last week.
Jim is definitely better, but I just did not like it. It just was not like...
Well, I guess you guys did have a game-winning dunk, your first game of dunk-win dunk.
That was
That was a lot of dunks.
That was really... But it didn't catch my fancy. I did not enjoy it. I didn't have fun.
You like Dunkaroos better.
I do miss Dunkaroos. Like, those one of the things from childhood. Yeah.
You don't know.
As much frosting as you choose.
I would take everybody else's frosting.
What? Oh, Steven just had no... Dark would have no frosting left.
Yeah, I was really mean. I was that guy. Yeah, I didn't fancy it. And Rem, you didn't like it either, right? Or you did?
I didn't fancy it. It didn't tickle my fancy at all.
Maybe you didn't pay it enough. I heard that money is a factor when it comes to getting your...
$20 is $20.
When it comes to getting your fancy tickled.
Is that a good segue to ask someone to donate $10 to Disney?
It is a good segue, but it's also a good segue to talk about the economy because money's money and $20 is $20. So let's talk about this Destiny 2 thing.
Time is money.
Now, although it's not World of Warcraft, it is Blizzard related, and it is important to note because it's affecting the WoW token. So for those of you who haven't heard, Destiny 2 is coming to the Battle.net launcher. Now, what does this mean? Is Blizzard hosting Destiny 2 on their servers? Negative Ghostwriter, the pattern is full. Blizzard is only allowing the chat integration to happen and only allowing us to purchase the game with Battle.net currency. So this does not mean it's going to be a Blizzard game, although Destiny is owned by Activision. So Blizzard is Activision. It's all part of the same umbrella. I think we expected this to happen at some point. Does this mean that Blizzard support is going to be supporting Destiny servers and their support, and you're going to call them for support? Negative. The company that's doing that currently with Destiny is going to be the one that takes care of that. So there isn't a merger happening, because I heard people like posting, oh, we're merging. That's not what's happening. They're just allowing people that are playing Destiny, and it is coming to PC, to be able to chat with people from, in the Battle.net chat. So,
but we won't use a launcher to start up that game.
No.
Or we do. Okay.
Oh, no, yes. I don't know the answer to that. I'm pretty sure that that's what that means, question mark?
Because then that opens a whole can of worms for homogenizing the launcher with all the other Activision IPs. I'm
not 100% sure if it's going to be on the launcher. I just know that the chat will be integrated and you can buy with your Battle.net balance. So I would assume that on some degree it would have to be somewhere in
it has to, because that's
Battle.net.
It's Blizzard balance, so it's not
and
Activision balance.
This has caused the tokens to rise, right? The tokens are rising. People are trying to sell all these tokens so they can get all this. Dude, I'm going to be really honest with you. From an economic standpoint, like, I don't get it.
It's backwards stock market. Instead of
I don't understand.
Instead of buying low and selling high, you want to sell high and then it locks it in. Yeah. So I don't know why it's happening right this minute, but it did affect it. Now, what I did think was cool about this is I think it just goes to show how much the economy in World of Warcraft mimics real life. Yeah. Because it was like stock market was happening, right? Destiny 2 is open for people to acquire stocks, and there was a frenzy. So right now, let me see what the current price is.
How much is it? I was going to ask. So that really hurt the players that buy their monthly hard, obviously. So feel bad for you guys, because I felt like the token was already high enough.
But
it's so across it's saying 118K. I know that throughout the weekend it was up to like 155 on my server, which my server's kind of a lower pop server, so it's not a whole lot happening. So
the token cost is just NA EU. It's region wide. It's not
locked down like that.
It is region locked.
That's what I just said, but you said my server's kind of low end, so server is irrelevant.
It is. That's right. I did say server, and it has nothing to do with server because it's region locked. Just ignore me, guys. JK. Just kidding. But I mean, it's pretty awesome.
The Europeans are like, it just hit 100K on the American servers. Ha!
I'm trying to see
how much it was. The over somewhere on the Asian servers, it was like 500,000.
What? Some gold farmers.
Yeah, but we don't really know what that. I don't really know what that means in relation to the money conversion. I don't.
Right.
I understand money conversion the same as I understand time zones, and it's zero. I do not understand any of that stuff. So
I was about to say that was,
I hate you. But basically, this did affect the economy, which I think it's a great thing for those trying to sell tokens, right? I think this is awesome for those trying to sell tokens because then people are gobbling up this stuff so that they can, buy. I think it's great, personally.
I debated buying tokens, thinking if it was but I'm like, I don't need gold and I don't have money in RL, so why would I, so.
The Chinese WoW tokens at just shy of 400,000 gold.
It's crazy.
I'm sorry, the what?
Asians.
But what is that? What does that mean though in relation to their money? What's the conversion? Is that's kind of what I'm struggling to.
Oh, when you actually buy the token?
Yeah, what does that mean? What's the cost?
Oh, I don't know. Because they changed the EU cost for European.
I haven't spent my gold or bought the tokens for anything other than WoW time.
We don't know that gold isn't a high price compared to the real life money conversion for the price of the token, is what I'm saying. It looks high, but what if it isn't?
The token conversion rate?
Yeah, you guys don't even understand. Why am I even having this? I don't even know why I'm trying to have any kind of smart conversation because it's just not happening. Never mind. Those of you at home know what I'm asking. So for those of you who know what I'm asking, maybe you guys want to comment and help me out because these guys... Ugh. I don't even know what to even say.
Don't blame this on us.
The WoW token is going to be the same for conversion from our cost. So it's going to be $20 in whatever their currency is.
But it's not going to be $20 because their currency isn't $20.
That's not.
Oh, you mean...
That's what I'm asking.
It's not really... we don't care. And I don't mean that as a rude thing. If you mean our servers compared to the Asian servers, we don't care.
So, in summary, you can buy Destiny 2 when it comes to PC with Battle.net balance, guys. So,
right. You guys going to be buying?
Here's the thing. I don't have room in my life for other games in the long term. I just don't have room in my life for anything. WoW is just
I can't see you playing a shooter like that.
It just isn't my kind of get down. It's not my thing. Right. Rem's been trying to get me to play some other crap he plays, Mordor, wherever. It's not even, whatever it is he plays. I don't know.
I think he shows a lot of interest in your likes. I think you should put a little effort towards his likes.
I'm willing to go and do things with him, but I'm not going to pay for a game that I'm not going to, that I don't know if I'm going to like. So I'm going to need to get a trial or something. Do they do trials, Rem? We'll talk about that after the show. So, so that's the big frenzy. For those of you that are Destiny players, I think that's awesome. Don't know what this means for the future. Blizzard was pretty adamant about the other Activision games not being tied to that for right now. I think Jimma was kind of correct in hitting the nail on the head with a potential issue there. Or are we going to start seeing other stuff on the launcher that we shouldn't? Are we going to start seeing Candy Crush on the fucking launcher? It's a scary world out there, guys. I don't want to wake up one day and see Call of Duty on my Battle.net launcher because I might lose my shit.
What if I want to be able to play Candy Crush in game while I'm playing the auction?
But who cares if it
is? You can. It's the Bejeweled game.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
What were you saying, Jim?
If it's in your launcher, though, who cares? It's not like you have to play it. It's just a way for, a lot of people that are able to afford the Destiny because they've got so much in-game gold. Like, good for them.
I think it's just a slippery slope. I think Blizzard, they separate these games for a reason. When I was talking to my husband about this, because he's like, I don't understand. Why don't they just call it, why doesn't Blizzard just say, hey, even though Activision owns Destiny, Blizzard is owned by Activision, we're all the same guy. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing as when, like, you see horror movies that are actually produced by Disney, but they do it under a different company, because who would go you go to see a Disney movie because it's a Disney movie. Nobody's going to go see The Exorcist by Disney. Disney's The Exorcist. Like, nobody, you have to separate and compartmentalize the different pieces and parts that are different. But I mean, it doesn't.
Cars as well.
I like the difference between Blizzard games and Activision games. I like that World of Warcraft is different than Destiny. I like that World of Warcraft is different than Call of Duty. I like that Hearthstone,
It's just that your passion for Warcraft allows you to buy other games.
True.
It's like when you hustle in game, Belle, you can...
It's true, and it doesn't really bother me one way or the other. I think it was people were just not necessarily concerned, but we're just kind of fact checking, like, hey,
where are we going with this?
What ultimately is there? Are we going to log in and we're going to see a Steam situation where you have 20 games in the launcher, which is what it kind of reminds me of, in truth.
But how cool would it be to spend $20K to get that mini game that you and Rem might want to play if that's in there?
Well,
this could give Blizzard more opportunity to take over the world, which we all want.
I'm sure. If there's $1 to be made, Blizzard's there. If there's a stripper somewhere on a stripper pole, Blizzard is sponsoring her to get that $1. So I agree, and that's smart business, guys. I'm not even insulting. This is why they are smart, because in addition to being amazing game makers, they really know where they're headed in the future, and I think that that's a good thing. Yeah.
So
I'm trying to find out if that wind in the background is me or someone has their auto adjust on.
If everyone is going to be buying the game with WoW tokens, does that go for the profit of Blizzard or for Destiny?
I have no idea.
Say that again.
Would they count the sales for Destiny with the WoW tokens for Destiny or for Blizzard?
I would think
I don't know.
My eyes just went cry.
I know. Was thinking about it. I think that whatever their partnership happens, that means stuff's happening. That's all I know.
I think the creator of the game would get credit for one purchase. As a guess answer, I didn't do my homework or study for tests. I just guessed. So that's my guess.
The noise is coming from you, Rem. It sounds like you're in a wind tunnel. Oh, okay. I was like, because Jim unmuted, so I was like...
double check, yeah.
Anyway, okay, so while Rem is figuring that out, the North American Arena Cup, number 3, let's see. We've got 8 teams. It's going to be Saturday, June 10th at 11, which is great because I feel like I'm going to be awake and I'm going to be watching it.
What time?
So it's 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 3-hour difference from your time. Now, here's the breakdown. It's really not necessarily, you don't necessarily have to win this tournament, because this is the way that they've got the Arena Cup now, is it's not elimination until you get to BlizzCon. It's based off a point system. So say like first place, they win 160 points. So this is going to be how it's determined to be able to move forward. So you can sign up. You can actually sign up until 9 o'clock Pacific time on June 5th. And you need to have your team seated, everything ready to go, and be able to go in and go ham sandwich and do your thing. So once that happens, we then have the Cup 4 and Cup 5, which is going to be July and then August. And then that leads us to the road to BlizzCon, which is pretty amazing. So I am excited because there's so many method teams. There's like 30 of them.
Yeah, how is there not?
There's like one of them is going to win. I don't know. Rem was taunting me all week, talking about stuff from Temple Storm. Yeah, we got a real rivalry, me and Rem do. Yeah.
This is good.
We're gonna have to fight in the street.
But all your favorite teams are gonna try to be in every tournament because any type of points is so valuable.
Yes. So you won't see the top teams not compete. But it's important for the smaller guys. You don't necessarily have to win, you just need to win more than you lose in the long term. It's still pretty bad, Rem.
It's not my fault that Tempo is better than Method, sorry.
You just throw
Zing!
shade. You just throw shade on me? There's just shade? Was there shade that just happened?
I
Very
can't
much
see,
so,
man.
yeah.
The sunlight's gone. It's so shady.
It's gone now, so whatever you did.
No, it's. Hang on.
Stop touching things! Guys, this is what happens when you have tech issues in the middle of the show.
Right?
Oh, why?
Good thing we can't
I
edit
need
them
you to
out.
not do that because it's loud. You're going to have to suffer in the heat. I can't help you. I can't have crappy alcohol quality. He's like, I hate you.
For those of you that want the inside scoop, his window was open.
Yeah, his window is
Don't you
open.
open
But
up that
guys,
window.
if you want to send him a crotch fan, that would probably be super helpful. So I found out recently that in California, people don't have air conditioning, which is really super weird to me because I can't live without air conditioning.
Expensive
Right.
as all hell in California, so.
I can't sweat to death. Like, I went outside earlier and some of my fat rolls were crying and there was all kind of like liquid happening and I was like, wow, that's how you know you need to lose some weight. Just kidding. I'm teasing. But we should buy you a crotch fan.
Isn't that murky?
Oh my. All right. So
Don't you open up that window.
that was super weird. So we got the NA covered. Cataclysm Time Walking Dungeon. This is coming the 23rd. So this will happen tomorrow by the time most of you watch or listen. It's going on to the 29th. And then we have the Glow Cap Festival, which is going to be the 27th. The Sporlings of
Blah,
blah 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 in blah blah blah. How do you say? Is that Zangermarsh? Is that how you say that?
Yeah, that is
You
how
got
you say
it.
That's the first time I've ever successfully said that word. Basically, it's the annual mushroom festival. Help keep their great
Whoa, man.
fishew alive as long as possible. I don't really know what any of that means, but
Tripping out, man.
sounds like it could be fun. Shrooms are involved, and that's always a good time, guys. I'm just kidding. You guys got really quiet.
Drugs are bad.
Okay.
7.2.5. There's some updates. I will talk about the kind of some of the bigger stuff next week when I'm able to test it. But there's going to be a quest line that increases legendaries to 970, which is cool. So that's going to be a thing. And then also something important to note is now this is something funny because I didn't notice. I thought artifact knowledge was always level 40. But apparently, in the interim, somewhere in 7.2, they increased it to 50, apparently, and then they brought it back down to 40. But in all my testing in PTR, the max knowledge was 40, so I'm not sure when that transition happened. But in 7, or in their little hotfix, it's not going to be 50. They're rolling it back 10 to back to 40 for the artifact knowledge.
Okay.
But it didn't affect me because I didn't know that it was 50. Rem is looking at me like he knew the whole time, but
When are we?
I'm just.
I want to ask them.
What?
I always hesitate. Yeah, what's going
Banks'
on?
confused face. Just.
Oh, you're laughing at him. So apparently, it wasn't at 40 for the highest you could get for your knowledge level. You know, you
Right.
learn your research.
You know, when they were
Apparently, it
showing
was
all their
50.
percentage, it was 40. I thought.
That's what I thought too, but apparently it was 50, and they've rolled it back to 40. IDK. Maybe they meant in PTR.
BFF Jill.
Might be
But
in
for
PTR.
us putting into the
They
weapon.
did mean in PTR. I'm stupid. It was in PTR.
Oh,
So PTR, they changed it to 50 and then rolled it back to 40. It's a good thing we never talked about that. I don't like to talk about PTR
Right.
stuff for this reason, because of the change.
yeah, forget that PTR.
But that's scary, though. I could see why they did that, because 50's scary. I feel like we need that because you're into the trillions for your artifact stuff now, but I feel like that's scary to me.
What's scary is people already could hit that.
I know. And 970 legendaries, guys.
Nice. I can't wait till
Holy
I get
item
one on
level.
my DPS.
When do you suppose, here's the thing. What are they going to do? We're going to have 1,000 item level?
Yeah.
Yep.
That doesn't even make any sense to me. Someone's going to have 1,000 item level?
Yeah.
They're gonna have to do a squish or something soon.
Yeah. Do you feel like they're going to do another stat squish also, since we're getting back up there in numbers? Yeah.
It might maybe for next expansion.
I miss seeing those big numbers, so this expansion I'm really happy because we've been seeing those good numbers, and then it's going to be really sad when we go back down to those little numbers.
Nah, I miss 10,000 bin.
Ew.
You miss...
I get to see millions pop up now on my DPS for my monk because I maxed it out or whatever. I love it. started putting into my
Make 10K great again.
make 10K.
Tonight's a really off night, isn't it? It feels like it's
Why?
I don't know. It feels like it's an off night.
I feel like we're on point.
I feel like I've had a really long day, and it's probably just because I'm tired.
Happy Victoria Day, guys.
I don't know what that means. You said that earlier, and I'm like, I don't get
Canada. It's a holiday here, but yeah, I've had a long day too. I worked 12
I
hours.
didn't work from bed today.
Well, that's good.
I set up my computer, my laptop, and on my big screen here, and I actually, instead of working from my bed watching Netflix, I actually sat up, had my coffee, worked from my desk, and
With
did
Netflix on that TV.
I was watching Vikings on Hulu, but I worked the whole day, and it was really, really, it was a long day at work.
Yeah.
Don't get promoted, because when you get promoted,
You have to work
you have to
harder.
do more stuff for a little respect, which is kind of crappy. But the last topic on the agenda, I was saving till the end because it's going to be some good topics of discussion. So I'm sure all of you by now have heard. Method has acquired 4 of their old raiders from Serenity.
I did not hear this.
After this announcement happens, Serenity then announces they'll no longer be raiding. My assumption here is because their raiders left. Now, it's important to note, if you guys don't know the history is one of the officers left Method in, this was 2015. We're talking like September, August-ish, somewhere around that time span in 2015. He left, they bring other members from Method's raid team. They leave Method. Who is it they left? Roger, which Roger's still with Method.
Roger that.
Sko and all that. So they leave. They decide to create the guild Serenity. They name it. They have officers in the chat to decide the name of the guild. They decided they didn't like the direction that Method was going in. Now, back then, who would have been able to foretell, whatever, who would have known Method would be the brand name that it is? I would have, right? Because I know the type of man Sko is. Like, he saw vision and he went after his vision. So the reason for the background is because if you guys don't know the background, it's important, for you guys to get caught up. So now 4 of these guys who left Method's raid team to go join Serenity are back on Method's raid team. Now, if I was Sko, I would be like, booyah, busters. Like, I would really be excited because I would feel like I won. Now, guys, I don't want you to think I'm being a jerk here. I have a lot of respect for Serenity, Exorcius, all these guys that do this World First stuff. I have a huge respect. However, let's remove Method out of the equation because you guys know I'm a fangirl. For the topic of discussion today, we are going to pretend we're going to ignore the who, right? So we're going to ignore that it's Method, and it's not going to be about that it's Method. We're just going to talk about the 2 instances of the power struggle is what ultimately I'm going to call it. So Method did a really great post just saying, hey, these 4 guys are back. They're joining, which the 4 guys are Fragments, Lazel, Genji, and Deep Shade. So these guys are back on Method from Serenity. A couple hours, it might have even been right away after Method posts this, Serenity posts, they're not raiding anymore for the World First. So I don't know. I think they just said suffered a huge blow and things like that. So for the topic of discussion, there's actually several points to be made here, but forgetting the who, what are the implications of these guys that left citing management differences, creative differences? They even insulted Sko. They threw shade big time. You guys, those of you that follow this,
or just the main guys?
Just the main guys threw shade. So those of you that remember, there was lots of, and Sko threw shade back. I mean, it was a very public thing. What happens when the grass isn't always greener? So you go to Serenity, you think you can do it better. What happens when the grass isn't greener? What would you guys do if you decided to leave, your guild, you went with another guild? Do you go crawling back to your original guild? How do you guys suppose?
Rip out the dead grass and put turf.
Oh.
What? That's good.
See?
Took me a second to get that.
I don't know. It depends how you look at it. Like if I'm one of those guys, depending on how you leave, right? It's you don't want to burn bridges usually. And
They did though.
Exactly. We just kind of discussed that, and but if you're a skilled player and you're good enough to be accepted into another team, or if you've even though they threw shade, time heals all. So it really depends. If I'm skilled enough and I'm accepted back on a team that I left, it's probably because I was doing something right. You know what I mean?
And do you feel like it shouldn't be personal? And I guess which is the larger question here. Should it be personal or should it be considered like a job?
For me, it's hard to say. So it depends. Again, I know they threw shade when they left, but it also depends on some of the conversations they've personally had throughout. So that's that could change my opinion depending on. So there's not enough for me to know.
Well, what if so from this standpoint, what if Rem tomorrow said, I'm going to go join this other podcast with some guys that used to be on PWNCAST, and I'm going to go join them.
Is he leaving permanently?
I would imagine.
That's a better setup.
It's blood in, blood out in this camp, son. Like, that's the only way you leave or you join this camp. But, I'm trying to put myself in both positions, both from Rem's standpoint. If I see that the grass is greener on the other side, do I have a personal responsibility to keep myself happy? But also, where's my sense of loyalty in this factor? And is that even a consideration? Those of you that are higher end raiders or have that thought process might know the answer to that, because I would struggle. I'm loyal like that though. Like I would
accepting
feel
them back or going back.
Just making the decision if it was me. You know what I mean? Like if somebody offered me, hey, come be on my podcast, it's going to be way better than what you're doing here. I don't know that from a loyalty standpoint if I would be okay with that. But most people would, because it's what's best for you, right? Is that the main consideration, is personal for you?
No one else wants me, so it doesn't matter.
What would you guys? They're not getting paid. They get the grandeur, right? They get the fame. They get sponsors if you're good enough. Method is with getting those sponsors. You get the stream glory and all that.
Yeah. Well, first things first. For me, it depends. Again, am I happy in the scenario, or sometimes if you're not happy in a rating scenario or things aren't going your way, sometimes it could be better to leave. I guess you asked so many questions, I don't know which one to answer. I guess it would just be
because it's all part of it's all the same question. Do you leave for loyalty? Do you stay for loyalty? Do you leave for yourself, or do you stay for yourself? It's all part of the same.
I have a scenario for you. Okay, so you have someone on your rating guild, and they want to transfer their character. And so you pay for the transfer, and they go to raid in another guild. Do you accept them back or no?
No, you don't speak to them ever, and it's been almost a year, and I still have not spoken to said person. I don't even know if they're alive.
Slightly different, but the same. For me, I'm the first thing you do think about is yourself, not in a greedy way. You're still always thinking about your team, but are you happy? Is it the right situation for you? And are you making the team better? Now, if they're leaving, like you said earlier, maybe you shouldn't even accept those people back because they left and thought maybe the grass was greener on the other side. So I guess for me, it would think about myself and then the team that I'm involved with. If Rem left the show to go to another one, he'd have to talk to me and let me know why he's doing that. And I'd have to base my judgment on, do I hate the kid or not? Based on that.
This whole situation's a case by case.
Yeah.
Well, these guys were very honest.
Yeah.
And so if you're not burning the bridge and you didn't leave on bad terms and you still tolerable with each other, then I guess going back is not such a bad thing. But if you're the person throwing shade, I wouldn't you couldn't go back without looking like a little.
They did.
But I don't agree with that necessarily, though. I mean, I guess you could make fun of them and they look like that because they talk shit and then they're coming back and it looks like they're crawling back. But if I went or I'm on another team and I left and then you also need me back, it's because I'm good enough and I know who I am as a person. So if I made a mistake and I went back or I was accepted back, I'm big enough to not let that affect my ego. I know who I am, so it doesn't bother.
I mean, if you burnt the bridge And I don't care how good you are, I wouldn't take you back.
So let me.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair. So if you don't take me back, and I'm asking to go back, then it's more of another chuckle point to be like, "F you, man." You look.
These guys were very honest, and Fragnance was very honest and said, "I'm selfish. I went with Serenity because I thought it was going to do. I thought they were going to do it, and they didn't." And Method's still doing it. Serenity struggles. They've struggled for 2 tiers filling their roster. They've struggled with that. So, although they were a great raid team, there's no question about that. There was times when they were ahead of Method. Their issue wasn't whether or not they were a good raid team. There's too many internal problems with people leaving. It's difficult to fill a roster like that. It's difficult. But they were very honest. And then, the one guy, Fragrance, hashtag SCO wasn't the problem. But at some point, dude, you said SCO was the problem. So now let me tell you where my point of view comes into this whole thing. SCO is very smart. I have a lot of respect for him on multiple levels because he had a vision. Doesn't matter if he sold out. I hear a lot of people be like, "Oh, he sold out." And?
What do you mean? How so?
Because he's a brand. His guild is a brand. He's sold out. Everybody throws that term. So what? Sell the fuck out.
Selling out.
Sell out.
But I wouldn't even use term.
It's not like he sold out his integrity. He made a brand, and look at the brand that he's created. Now, these guys that left. If I was SCO, he probably looks at it differently than I do. For him, because he's used to this high-end rating, he probably expected it to some degree, right? With great power comes great responsibility, and the more money, more problems. The higher you rise, the more issues that there is. Now, it doesn't matter whether or not SCO was or was not the problem. People are always going to blame him because his name is on the nameplate. He's the title holder. Whether it's good or it's bad, he's going to reap all the benefits of it being good, and he's going to take the shitstorm of it being bad, because that's the nature of being a leader. Do I think that there was internal? 100% I think there was internal issues. I think these 4 guys left thinking it was going to be better with Serenity, and I think that they found that although Serenity was capable, whatever fell apart in the meantime, right? Now, if I was SCO, we were talking about this pre-show, and I heard Serenity was having problems. I'm the type of guy where I'm a bitter bitch. So I might go to these guys that left me first and be like, "Hey, yo, I heard you're having problems with Serenity. Come on, baby, I'll make it all better." Like, I'll totally be that guy to the girl when she's having problems with her dude. Like, that would totally be me.
Homewrecker.
I would do that just off the basis of getting some semblance of payback. Right? I don't know necessarily that that's what happened, but he welcomed them back with open arms. Regardless of whatever their battles were, he welcomed them back. Could I ever trust those dudes again? Probably not.
But you only give so much, people enough trust to, you don't give them enough power to wreck you anyway. And I'm sure, good raiders are hard to find. So they're obviously skilled enough and good enough, or you trust them enough to be in their guild again to help.
Or make them be the water boy for a good couple months.
Yeah, I'm sure they might have to pay dues, but the thing about the term, you said the term sold out. That's overused, like the term hater. You know what I mean? So if your brand's good enough to get sponsored by whatever, I don't call that selling out. You're a brand, and you've represented yourself in the right way to earn those sponsorships. And a lot of the people that say sold out are sitting behind their monitor not doing much. So
he's got to be feeling pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a sad thing. We need more world first race guys. So it's a sad thing that Serenity's there. But guys, I'm going to talk about all the things we've already read on the forums and the back and forth. I'm being real right now. If I was SCO, I would be like this, like Mr. Burns, straight chilling in my Method racing chair. Like,
don't you already, or your purple DX racer?
Yeah, I would be so feeling
accomplished.
Yes, because I feel karma does play a part in the things that happen in any situation, and I feel like being the person who has had these instances happen in their lives where people look for green pastures and then find that it's not always greener on the other side, and having lived that, I know what he's got to be feeling like
he did something right. Not necessarily that Serenity did something wrong, but that he did something right. That for all whoever had anything negative to say about him, that he must be doing something right because people are coming back. Whatever Serenity's issues are, it sucks for them. Maybe some of these guys will go join, another group or another team. Maybe they've gotten enough fame by being in Serenity that they'll be able to coast off their old achievements. Like, never mind, I almost name dropped, and I haven't done that in a really long time. Like some of your
previous
of your finger missing previous legends. But I wonder what the future holds. I hope that some of those guys can go and find good things. But I want to know what you guys think. What would you do if you were presented?
Who am I?
If you were presented and you didn't necessarily agree with something internal that was going on with what you were doing, do you feel like it should be a personal consideration, or is there a loyalty factor that should be considered? I know a lot of you are probably saying personal, so before you comment or you tweet to me or you email me, you're probably going to say it should all be all about you because you pay for your sub and you do all those things. However, at what point...
Sounds like a Bell quote.
Well, I want to know at what point do we consider other people, because sometimes we're not just people behind a keyboard. We're actual humans that connect, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering,
Blasphemous.
where's the threshold and what would you guys do? That's what I want.
To answer your question, as far as it's both. It's when I said earlier, when I say, I think about myself, I don't mean in a selfish way. I meant like it's both. I have to, you always should do what's best for you or your family, but also the loyalty or those people become your extended family or family. And I immediately related to the show when you said that. So you think about yourself and you think about the team overall, which kind of go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's ironic that Belle, of all people, is talking about loyalty.
Right?
She'll kill any one of us for a taco.
It's just funny. I was trying to deny it, but it's 100% accurate.
It's like I could go for a taco right now.
Do you see Baby Groot creepily in the background? He's just chilling.
You did that on purpose.
No, he's with Murky. Look, him and Murky. Wait, whoa.
Of course.
Him and Murky are best friends. It just creeped me out because I could see his glare at me from my camera box. So good.
Is that what your question was? Mostly about the.
It's just it's tough to know what good decision I would even make. Even with all the things that I know and feel, I don't know that I would be able to. I don't know.
When a team go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we were discussing also like a team like Serenity folding and other top rating guilds is the reward for rating is not as, it burns you out. Not only does it burn you out and it's mentally draining the amount of time you have to be playing, the rewards are, the rewards are good, but they're minimal. It's not like, based on the amount of time you spend. This is the reason why a few guilds are folding.
It depends on your level of dedication. Because you don't necessarily have to be successful because you ran a mythic first, but all the things that tie into it, you're streaming World of Warcraft, sharing your stuff and making you more popular, you then grow your audience. I mean, I don't expect anybody wants to do world first because of the money right away. I think it's all the things that are the package that go along with it. The fame that brings essentially money to you. If you're streaming and you're getting a ton of people to watch you stream and they're paying you, I mean, that's a job. SCO apparently doesn't work. This is his full-time job.
And I mean, it's not unheard of.
But you're also talking about the leader of the group. There's a lot of people that do that and work. There's a lot of people that, like, when you're thinking of a raid team, it's 20 people. So
I have a full-time job.
Right. SCO is very lucky, and he has probably some more responsibilities than just the guild, or maybe it's just the guild. I don't know what that all entails.
Yeah, he's right. He's the guy for Method. He's the founder. He's
right. When you're thinking about maybe his other, say 10 of the 20, they're probably working full-time jobs, supporting their life, and raiding 4 times a night to just try to be world first. It's a crazy amount of time.
It is a lot, and it's more so this expansion.
Yeah, and it can burn you out. Like I was watching, Asmongold talked about his guild and the mythic progress. Like they almost quit and folded the entire guild just on that process, right? So another guild that almost folded, and he was saying like out of the 20 group, like maybe 3 to 8 of them were the original starting for that tier of that rate of Nighthold or whatever. So you're replacing all these pieces constantly based on real life scenarios.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting for sure, but I think we'll see. I want to see where Method goes with this, and I want to see, will another team, maybe some of these guys will come together from a couple different teams that folded and make a team.
Or apply for the other big names. Sometimes it's easier to apply, as you can see.
Because Midwinter's done.
Yeah.
Some of those other big ones. Exorcius is still raiding. I don't know why I said they weren't there. I'm pretty sure they're. I have not seen an official announcement on them. So, well, now that we've got that lovely thing out of the way, Jimma, what hails in your corner of the universe?
Being a grandmaster, what would have been great for a segment is when I was talking about some of the things I started listening to become a grandmaster, have some of those now. I just thought of that now. So maybe next week I'll give you guys some tips. We did some streaming and it was really fun, and most of the focus was pet battles because of the pet battle bonus event. And during the intro, I brought up the Terraclaw hatchling. Most of you have heard me mention the Terraclaw hatchling. It's so good for a number of reasons, and for PvP specifically, I'll give you an example of the first pet battle that I did, the PvP pet battle for the stream. I took an L, and I was in complete control of the fight. So the reason why the Terraclaw hatchling is so good is it can force you to make mistakes, or it just evens up the the PvP pet battle with having a heal, subbing out and having a heal and having a dodge. So by me accidentally subbing, say, out my Terraclaw hatchling when I was in complete control, that allowed him to, say, heal up his Terraclaw hatchling, kind of gain full health, because you always have to maintain and be above half health overall with your Terraclaw hatchling. So again, I hope I just haven't brought up the Terraclaw hatchling too many times. Jim lost his first PvP pet battle and was a little rusty, but it was also just based on the strength of the Terraclaw hatchling. So please get that in your repertoire, especially if you're listening saying, I don't PvP pet battle because I'm not good, or there's too many options. Start with the Terraclaw hatchling. Now, I also asked a couple weeks as far as like what pets should be brought into the game if you had a chance to just bring in a pet. What would it be? And it was funny because I was asking, like, Belle, I'm going to ask you about warlock pets. What warlock pet would you want to see? And she's like, I already have it. And she mentioned it. And we actually went through all of them, and almost every warlock pet is a companion pet, except for, what was the one that you said wasn't?
The Abyssal.
The Abyssal is one, isn't it?
Doomguard.
The Doomguard and the Observer, which is the eye.
What was the answer? The Voidwalker was your answer, right?
Yeah, I have a mini Void, and I have the Sister of Temptation. I have the Abyssal, which basically looks like the Infernal.
So it's kind of just like dumbfounded, because I was like, oh yeah, there's so many Warlock pets already, and which are very cool looking. That's why I like the Warlock class, because of some of their pets. So earlier today I was thinking, Hunter, I've been playing my Hunter a lot more, having a lot of fun. Maybe what Hunter pets would I like to see be companion pets? And I was thinking Thok. I was just a lot of the Beastmaster pets, the bosses, right? What the Thok are you talking about, Rem? Just a lot of those pets I thought would be cool, and in the spirit of reskinning, I thought, what could we do to reskin and make it easier on Blizzard? And I was thinking, like, the Corehound pup, there's those two-headed ones. I like to use the green one, or maybe even the white one. There's different colors of the
rainbow
Corehound pup. Rainbow. How about a rainbow Corehound pup? That's never been done before. I don't think that would be too cool.
Mini spirit beasts.
Yeah, like I always mess up, and it's my favorite Beastmaster pet, the one you get in Sholazar Basin, Lokanok.
I don't know the spirit.
Yeah,
beast.
it's the spirit beast. I remember I was so happy when I got that. I feel like that would be an awesome companion pet. And when I asked the question a couple weeks ago, Secret Sauce, very quiet guy, busts out with a great answer, and he said Mimron's head. And I thought that would be cool as either a very rare drop when he said that, or maybe just make it a whole bunch of, like, a ridiculous amount of pet charms. I'm talking a ridiculous amount of pet charms, because after I thought, hunter pets for companion pets, what about mounts, right? How cool would Invincible be as a pet? So how about Invincible and Mimron's head as, like, a million pet charms, just some sort of ridiculous grind, kind of in the spirit of Blizzard making us grind, constantly for artifact power. Or I'm a huge fan of Frosty or Little Death Knight becoming pets, purchasable pets in the game, because I don't have them. So just some other mounts I thought of were the Netherwing mounts from, the BC daily quest, and maybe a moose or some of the...
have like a little whelpling version of it.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Oh, and actually, I thought of you when I was thinking of the segment, Ram. I asked you if you had the Emerald Protowhelp. What's the mount that I got that you were really mad at me for? It was like the Drake, the blue one.
The blue Proto Drake.
Yeah, so we already have the
Tentacle.
Emerald Protowhelp, and upcoming is a golden version of it, like the Time Lost Proto Drake. Why not have that baby blue one so you and I can always remember that day where that amazing mount dropped for me? And we celebrated, right? So that was nice. So
I'm gonna kill you in 6
I'm
months.
interested, right? And I always like that you participate in my segments, because you do give good feedback. I thought the jeweled onyx panthers and just those panthers would be cool. I mean, I'm pretty big on saying how I'm not going to make lists, and I just ramble off lists. But I am interested to hear from some of the listeners, since I didn't get any feedback. I'd like some feedback if there's some cool pets that you'd like to see, and if not, thanks for listening, and I'll let you know if there's any more like changes in PTR, any new companion pets coming up, because I haven't heard of any like new newsworthy stuff. Oh, soon to come, maybe some lists to be a grand master for pet battles. It might be a good segment for next week.
But if everyone's going to be Grandmaster, how can you be the Grandmaster?
Well, so when you're good,
I'm just gonna ask that. Like, is that a thing?
Good. Yeah, absolutely, because it elevates your game. So me being at the top of my game, maybe still a little rusty, I'm still Jimma the pet battler, but if everyone around me is raising their level, that's just naturally going to, raise my level as well, or I'm just battling better people in general. So everyone gets skilled, and you'll keep leveling up like your artifact weapon, right?
There's only 4 spots in Elite Four. Jimmy Banks need to get better.
But is there anybody better than those Elite Four?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of elite people that say do YouTube videos, but maybe I'm a little better.
Are you?
Better?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chica, chica, yeah.
Chica, what?
So, Rem?
What?
Rem?
What? Story time.
I would love to know what's going on, but there's no show notes, so I have no idea.
Belle, I can't hear story time. Let me hear.
I don't see Jimmy Banks.
I'm very aware that was shade being thrown at both of you.
I can't hear story time, guys. I'm trying to listen.
So,
Where did we leave off? You got a segue from those who didn't watch last week.
well, last week I talked about Medivh? Question mark? I don't even know what I had for breakfast. Oh wait, I didn't eat breakfast. I want to talk about a little something. So humans and orcs are actually closely related in a way. Surprise, motherfluffer.
I've always said that, but I didn't know it was actually a thing. Continue.
Where'd it go, guys? Boom, boom.
Because I was an orc on Horde, and now I'm a human.
So as you may or may not know, humans in World of Warcraft are descendants of the Vrykul, which the Vrykul were once the Titans, not minions, but creations, to combat the old gods that were in control of Azeroth. So Draenor did not have, it exploded. Draenor does not have a world soul in it. World soul in it. It is just a world. And there was an overgrowth of primal life, I think it was classified. And so it consumed pretty much all of Draenor. And so you find where I left off before.
Have you ever heard of a bookmark? Is that a thing?
I've heard of a skid mark.
Where you know where you left off, so we don't have to spend 10 minutes during your segment while the people at home have to figure out how you're figuring out where you left off. Now, those of you are going to be like, wow, she's being mean.
No, I was going to say...
In this instance, it's a good point, right?
I agree.
On the page, I was explaining stuff. You're so
Don't
rude.
try to make it... Now you're doing that thing where you're trying to make people feel sorry. I hate you. Okay, continue.
Okay, Ike. So Draenor and the Evergrowth is the chapter / section of the chapter.
We need voices too.
Okay.
It's like watching fucking paint dry.
Hey, paint dry would be more entertaining.
Guys,
so.
I apologize for the not technical but mental difficulties. It seems Rem is struggling. Rem, you got gas, buddy? Like, what's going on?
Actually, no, I don't. I'm
okay.
good.
All right, I'll let you do your thing. Voices, go.
So, but Draenor and the Evergrowth is what was going on in Draenor before we have what was Draenor in our timeline. Before the Burning Legion launched its crusade, a small world took shape in a distant corner of the Great Dark. This world would be known by many names in the coming ages. The mighty ogres would call it Dogar, meaning the known earth, in their brutish tongue. An intelligent avian race known as the Arakoa, known as Rakshar, the Sunstone. In modern times, the most common name for this world would be Draenor. Draenor did not contain a slumbering world soul, but it was remarkable in other ways. Nearly all worlds in existence were home to elemental spirits of fire, air, earth, and water. Sometimes these primordial beings were highly destructive. They took on physical forms and waged war against each other, keeping their respective worlds in a state of constant upheaval. Such was not the case on Draenor. An abundance of the fifth element, the spirit of life, had saturated the world. This force had a natural calming effect on the elemental spirits. It tempered their violent nature, and it even prevented them from taking on physical forms. The fifth element had another far more extraordinary effect on Draenor. It accelerated the growth of flora and fauna. It made the world into a cradle of vibrant, untamed life. Creatures of every shape and size roamed the young world, vying for dominance. The strong preyed on the weak, the cunning preyed on the strong, and savagery became critical to survival. Draenor's greatest predators did not hunt with fang or claw. I can't talk. They hunted with root and thorn. A carnivorous, invasive strain of plant had sprouted on Draenor. These life forms were known as spore mounds. Their tendril-like vines slithered over the earth and strangled every primitive beast that they could reach. As they grew, the spore mounds consumed more and more and more. Their hunger and need to expand knew no end. They blossomed into living mountains of tangled brambles and noxious pods. Wherever the spore mound's tendrils crept over the earth, lush forests and swampy mires took root. Before long, a labyrinth of deep wild stretched to the far corners of the world. Not even Draenor's elemental energies were safe from the spore mounds. Their roots wormed deep underground in search of water. As they did, the invading plant life tapped into the fifth element that suffused Draenor's stones and soil. Consuming this primordial energy ignited a crude communal sentience within the spore mounds and the surrounding wilds. This newfound intelligence allowed Draenor's plants to act as a single massive organism. The spore mounds and all other vegetation became known collectively as the Evergrowth. The Borg in plant form, hello? If any major threat arose, the Evergrowth could react in unison. Yet such threats were non-existent. The Evergrowth dominated everything in sight. Nothing could hold it at bay. So not good. Not good at all. They're almost similar to the old gods in terms of all they want is power and control over everything. So it's actually pretty similar to the state that the Titans came up on Azeroth. So this is Agramar is one of the Titans. He was actually pretty much Sargeras's best friend before he turned. They both roamed across the Great Dark, hunting demons and everything in between, all the goods and bad guys. And this was before Sargeras had found out about the Void and the Dark or the Void Lords. And so this is Agramar on Draenor. While the Spore Mounds flourished, Agramar continued his hunt for demons. His grand mission eventually took him near Draenor, a world not yet discovered by the Titans. Agramar lingered among the vast emptiness over Draenor, listening for the dreams of a world soul at its core. He heard none, and yet the world still intrigued him. He had never seen a place of such ferocious and diverse plant life, a place of such untamed savagery. The more Agramar observed the Evergrowth, the more he foresaw doom in Draenor's future. If left unchecked, the plant life would consume everything on the world, even the elemental spirits. Once that happened, the Evergrowth would devour itself. Creepy. Draenor would be left a dust-blown wasteland devoid of even the most primitive life. Maybe this is what happened on Mars, guys. Okay?
Okay.
Be aware.
Did you say Matt Damon? Martian? No. Sorry.
Though Agramar was eager to continue his war against demons, he could not leave Draenor to such a fate. His natural affinity for order compelled him to take action. A Titan warrior did not want to exterminate Draenor's plant life, he desired only to temper it. He knew what to do, so he would need to neutralize the Spore Mounds. They were the heart of the Evergrowth's power and the cause of its rampant expansion. Agramar considered destroying the Spore Mounds himself, but his power was so great that he feared he would irreparably damage or even shatter Draenor. He also knew he could not stand guard over the world forever. Instead, he would create a mighty servant in his image to uproot the Spore Mounds and then maintain balance over Draenor. So this is exactly what happened on Azeroth when Amenthul tore out Urasage's body and caused the Well of Eternity to form, which was the life essence of the World Soul escaping. And that's when he made all the Titan Forged and all that good stuff. So Agramar swept his colossal hand over the world and wove its fire, air, earth, and water energies into a massive elemental storm. He channeled the warring tempest into Draenor's largest mountain. The energies blasted through the crust and sent shockwaves of force around the globe. Then the mountain itself groaned to life and stood up on two colossal legs. Raw elemental power crackled over a craggy hide, crisscrossed by veins of molten stone. Agramar named his creation Grond. He would serve as the Titan's warrior hand on Draenor. At Agramar's command, Grond set out to divide and conquer the Evergrowth. The walking mountain lumbered over the world. Lakes of elemental fire trailed in his footsteps. Grond dredged out seas, carved valleys, and forged mountains to separate the Evergrowth. Then he marched toward the nearest Spore Mound, which towered nearly as high as a giant. The Spore Mound's gnarled roots exploded from the earth to entangle Grond and bar his way. The giant smashed through them with ease. Grond stabbed his jagged fingers into the Spore Mound, and then he tore it from the world's surface with a single mighty heave. The other Spore Mounds shivered in agony at the destruction of their kin. Mere roots and vines would not topple Grond. The Spore Mounds needed a new weapon. They needed to adapt. Each Spore Mound drained the surrounding forests and jungles of life essence, leaving behind only withered tracts of land. Infused with these energies, the Spore Mounds arose to walk the world. There were 3 Spore Mounds in total, and each embodied a different region of the Evergrowth's domain. The first was called Zang. swampy mires and mushroom thickets glistened across its hide. So that one was in Zangar Marsh. It wasn't obvious. The second Botan was covered with primal forest lands. The last of the spore mounds was known as Nanu, and it wore a fleece of dense jungles. As one, the spore mounds moved against Gron, and Draenor buckled under the weight of warring giants. So there's a lot more to it. A lot more. It keeps on going and going. So long story short, they're battling continuously for ever and ever. And Gron falls into pieces, and then he splits into more, and everything dies, and then renews. And Gron's pretty much offspring, I guess, even though that's not really offspring. And that's where you get the Ogryn, the ogres, and actually the orcs were made from Agamar, and I'll go in detail later because it's like 5 pages in depth with that.
Well, I got a candle because me and Gemma were enjoying the ambiance that you were, and I've had this candle burning in my office all day. It's sugar berry, but I grabbed the candle because I was like, me and Gemma can just enjoy the warmth of the candle.
And that candle smells delicious.
It actually it smells really, really good.
But Remedies is the homie, and he obviously looks smart. Could you all do us a favor and go buy a bookmark?
Yeah, for real. And you didn't do any voices, so
I think he did a mini one there, did he?
Yeah, but
and he did a squawk.
I feel like he just needs more encouragement. Guys, let's encourage him to find and discover the voices from within. I feel like that could be a song.
Hello!
Show me a mean face.
That was so awkward. Guys.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation, you and I.
About what? We didn't see your notes, so we couldn't really tell what we were going to talk about.
Yeah, there's no notes. My segment's all DitchCon related. So, guys, let's talk. You and I. One-on-one.
Uno.
So, we have 20 days to our Kickstarter, guys. And the Kickstarter's for DitchCon. Those of you know, because I beg you for money every freaking day. Those of you that have backed, I want to thank you.
What's DitchCon?
It's, the place to be. It's where you go. But it's our pre-BlizzCon party, in case you guys were not aware. And we are at, right this moment, we are at 64.15. We're at 50 backers. We have 20 days to go. We have to be at 8,000. If we don't get our goal, it's all or nothing with Kickstarter. So if we don't reach our goal, we don't get any of the money. But putting this in perspective, we're only 1585 away. Sounds like it's a ton, right? Sounds like it's a whole lot, which it is, because it's scaring me. I'm getting to the point where I'm panicky because everybody that I know is backed. So at this point, I'm relying completely on the kindness of strangers. So if you backed, thank you. If you can back, throw $10, throw $20 back, whatever you can do. We appreciate every dollar. If you can't, hey, that's okay. We don't mind. You don't have to pay for our affections. We love you regardless. But it is scary because we have 20 days and it's a real possibility we might not be able to have a party this year if this doesn't happen. So that was all I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to beg for more money because...
Please.
The link's in the description. The link will show up here. If you're listening to this on iTunes, go to Kickstarter and search DitchCon. Search PWNCAST. You'll find it. We're out there. But, no, I did want to talk about... I did want to talk about some PvP stuff, and I had something really good that I wanted to talk about. But I have our episode tomorrow with Rolling Restart, and I'm actually going to take some ideas from that for next week's segment for what we're going to be talking about on that, because I feel like I'm going to get some really good ideas from what me and Ro are going to be talking about. So I'm going to put off my segment until next week. And I didn't really do a whole lot of PvP because I was irritated with that PvP brawl. I went into it and Jimmy,
did you go solo though?
I did go solo.
It's rough life solo as a caster.
I did a few back to back, and you're right. As a caster, I was just. It seemed like I couldn't do anything. I was just rezzing to die at that point.
And I wanted to ask you what you think, why was that the case?
Well, I was just going to say it could be if you're rezzing and you're dying, that the opponent's team was probably really good because they're bringing those balls towards your base. Guys, let's not make sports and PvP silly, okay? Let's make it... they're pushing towards your base, so if they're overpowering and they're just doing more damage, like I did one the other night with a couple guildies, it was that we got shit on because there was so much melee, and they forcefully, if they do more damage and they can forcefully come towards you, you can't even get past that layer to go get the balls. They're literally probably just killing you as you spawn. So I kind of agreed with you in the sense of it wasn't my favorite as far as all of them. And it's, sometimes.
Did you win any of them?
Yeah, I won the first one. I got the game-winning dunk. I didn't cap any of them. Like, I thought it was like going to be like War Song where I could carry the flags and go cap, but because there's more people and you have to literally run through them in most scenarios because if they set up a wall, it's hard. So I didn't as a healer as much, but I wanted to get the game-winning dunk and I took a screenshot and tweeted it. So yeah,
I tried to go get a ball, but it didn't.
Even when we had some random guildies, I thought it was going to be maybe a couple games before we would get a win because we weren't in a voice chat, and we won on our second one, right? So we got slaughtered the first one. We just queued again, and we won.
Maybe because I went at it alone. It was a day where I had gotten done, like I was kind of dicking around from work and was kind of overwork, and I'm just like, I'm just going to do stuff. Rem wasn't home yet. I was watching Netflix and just doing random stuff in game. Yeah. So I was checking it out. It just didn't seem...
You know what was also harder for you? You didn't have Jimma Banks the monk healer, because like I was top healers almost everyone I did.
Even when we run with you, though, I don't really know that we get the benefits of your heals, because I think you try to be a hero.
That's funny. That's calling the kettle a hero. I was going to say, because we didn't do... Because you're quite the hero yourself. I think.
I do run off and be like, I got this, guys.
I remember when we did group up and we didn't win many. Sometimes your opponents are good, and sometimes it's just you got to refine your strategy. I know I did a lot of talking. Rem, what did you think about it? Like the
the brawl.
Yeah, did you get a chance
to do many? I did one game. I won it, but I mean, I didn't have fun with it. It wasn't like
no.
I had fun killing people over and over and over and over, but it wasn't like my get down.
I'm dating myself, but Belle knows the show. It reminded me of American Gladiators, where he had to like run the ball past the gladiator.
It did actually. That's funny that you mentioned that. I used to love watching American Gladiators.
Belle, I think you just ran into some strong women that just would not let you run by them. So, a little more training.
I did have fun killing this mage over and over and over again. And I gotta love this mage because this mage was a tryhard, and this mage was really trying to make it happen. And I literally just searched for this mage and just made sure. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl. If you're the mage that I was killing, I apologize. I don't feel sorry. Then he had to call his friends because he was getting sad because I was killing him. But everywhere he went, if he died, I was on right on him.
Is it because he got you once before?
He did, and they suckered me. It took 3 of them to take me out, and it pissed me off. And when you go get your little friends like a little bitch, I'm gonna try to kill you at any chance I can. So.
I think if you had Rem or a group, it could have been more enjoyable. But I also agreed with you as far as compared to the other 3, it wasn't my favorite.
Right, yeah. The other ones were pretty cool. But I
was going to ask, do you know what the next one is? Do we know yet?
I don't know what the next one is. Okay, but I should know what the next one is, but I don't.
I really thought when you guys first talked about it, I'm like, this is going to be dumb. It's just a way to spice up content. But I've enjoyed all of them.
The monotony that it breaks up, right? It gives you just like something, even the simple having the blizzard, even something as simple as not being able to find the fucking road to lumber. Like it just felt really good to do that. I agree with you, Jim.
Wait, you really that should be the road to lumber mill.
It was covered with snow and it was a blizzard, and I couldn't. Muscle memory, I was in the right direction, but stuff happened.
I would like to see that as to take place for the RBG map for Arathi Basin, because you can't. Because it just adds more elements. You can't see where
I wonder if they plan on allowing that. I would like to see some of these. I would like them to do a hybrid PvP brawl RBG. Like you could queue with your RBG team into a PvP brawl. I think that would be a really neat idea. We should tweet
Maybe
about
not
that,
for
Jim.
every single one. Yeah,
No, where you get the choice, just like now.
Yeah.
You can choose to go to the PvP brawl. Maybe you can choose to go to the PvP RBG brawl, right?
Deal.
That would be a good idea. I would love to do that with a full group.
Yeah, I think the Arathi Basin is perfect setup for it. Now, people could disagree about Warsong because the Warsong is awesome because you just have so much more action and it's not always a standoff. But the Warsong,
The dunk would be really fun on a strat, on a full group, a pre-made. I think the dunk could be fun if you're going against another pre-made and you have a strat caller.
Yeah.
I think that could be, maybe it'll be one of those things where I'll like it. But it just was not. It wasn't my thing. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't hate it. I was kind of meh about it.
Yeah.
And I did some regular battlegrounds and it was not Alliance's day that day. So what I hopped from Bell and started doing monk things on my monk healer. Not necessarily.
Yeah, you were saying that last week.
I don't know that I want to PvP with her. I think I'll leave the PvP healing to Jimma. But I've just been kind of doing PvE stuff on her just to break up like a little bit of the monotony.
Right.
But I don't even know how I'm still awake, guys. My eyes are so bloodshot.
It's funny. I always feel so tired, but
I've yawned like 30 times. I want one of you who watched the episode to count how many times I had to mute and yawn. I've really been struggling today with sleep. This is what happens when you're adulting, and I actually got out of bed today.
That sounds exhausting.
It made me tired. But on the PvP aspect, what I am doing is I'm doing more PvP in between my other stuff, and I'm doing it a lot of solo stuff because Rem works a lot. And Rem is usually the one that I do my PvP with, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because he's worse PvP screaming than I am. Yeah, he's way worse than me.
I remember the first battleground I did with him. I'm like, he's not having fun at all, and you're like, no, this is just how.
Yeah, and he had a great time, and like it was awesome. But he's just worse than me. But I am finding my love again, and I am considering arenas.
Nice.
Oh, snap.
The one thing that's cool for when it is a whatever brawl it is, I try to, when I'm soloing, because I play a lot of solo myself, I'll try to get my win in Deep Wind Dunk, and then I'll try to get my random battleground win just for more chunks of honor and artifact power, and then I'll kind of leave it alone unless I've got a group and it's more fun. But it's more fun with people. It just PvP is.
I agree. And it's it can feel very lonely when you're the only one that knows what you're doing also. So if you kind of queue in with a group of people, they're kind of, maybe they're new, maybe they're derpy, maybe they're window lickers. I don't really know what their story is. It could be really frustrating. You feel like you're just yelling into the void because you're typing stuff in chat and you're saying, hey, go here, do this, do that. And they're not following you at all. They're doing the exact opposite. You're telling them to go here and the whole team goes the other direction. Am I right?
I have good news.
You just saved a bunch of money on your car insurance by switching to Geico?
No. Terran Mill versus South Shore is the next one.
Oh.
That should be a good one.
Big. Can you elaborate? Is that like a bigger one as far as how many people go in it?
It's 40 man, right?
Yeah, so
I feel like it's 40 man.
Back at the
Is it 40, Don?
10-year anniversary, it's a big one.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do it, so it is the one from the anniversary, right?
So it was the one from the anniversary where they because Terran Mill and South Shore was notorious for
World PvP.
Yeah. And so they made it a battleground, and it was a huge hit during the anniversary. So
did you do it then? I didn't. I did
not.
No.
Yeah, I got my Torn Mill Terror.
To give you a feat of strength.
I got a title. South Shore. I think South Shore was whichever one's Alliance is the one that I got.
You rep in South Shore?
Terran Mill
You said
Terror.
Torn Mill Terror, I think, is what I got for Alliance.
Yeah.
I did it. It was pretty fun. I did it in PTR too for this expansion when I was testing the PvP brawls.
Right.
Wasn't as fun because PTR people aren't as. Never mind. It doesn't even matter. The point is, it wasn't as fun as it was when we did the anniversary event. As long as people just do it right, because there's stuff that you do have to do for it. But it's a nice.
Then right after the Terran Mill is the 15 by 15 arena.
That's what when Belle said that like
the
a while
arena
ago.
maps with 15 people.
That's amazing.
We're going to do it, guys. We're going to do it. Like, that's the one that I was excited. Remember, Jim, how excited I was when we talked about that? That's the one I want.
Very much so. Because some of
we'll be a team.
Members, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll be all.
See how many you could get of the guild to do a 15-man queue. Oh no, you can't do that, dude.
That would be how I would get to love arenas again. Because remember, my issue with arenas is they don't have the cushion of multiple players, right? But it'll get me to fall in love with the maps again, even though I see them on watching PvP. But
the new, oh my gosh, they reskinned I don't know the name of the map, the one with the bridge, and I hated that one. It looks so awesome.
Isn't it Blade's Edge?
I think so. Oh my,
I haven't been into. Awesome. I've seen video, but I haven't actually been into it live.
I forgot that it was redone. I hadn't.
Were you like in awe?
Yeah, because I love those, just the memories, and my favorite memories of fives of just like the one where you would raise and you would see each other and it would just be a fight. So this 15 on 15 is just going to be that chaotic. I'm going to enjoy that.
I'm ready.
I missed that those raised and lowered.
Yeah, the only thing that really sucked though, my pet would get stuck on it, so we like it literally would just be on the platform, and as a Beastmaster, because that's what we were running at the time, it was not a good thing.
Your pet would get stuck, huh?
Yeah, I was stupid. We get stuck again.
You're not with stupid.
Instead of a ramp.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre, guys. So, guys, let's talk about our weekend WoW. Jimma?
I have them. I mean, like, I've always had them, but I've like had more productive ones. I don't know if they sound better, but definitely did hunter things on the horde side, just kind of progressing through all those things you naturally have to, to get your artifact enhancements or extra artifact power or whatever, right? So what else did I do? I got because I did some PvP on my hunter and I'm trying to get my horde companion pet, I got my meta achievement for Battle of Gilneas. All I needed to do was defend the mines. And if you've ever
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and if you've ever been a defender and you may have not been paying attention, or you're doing your job and fighting something else, it was my bad that it got capped, but we killed it, recapped it, and of course the pleasant surprise. I forgot I needed that one cap forever. But yeah, so anyways, I did that, and then I also said in my segment, I really want it's Lokanok as a companion pet. That's my final answer. Blizzard, put Lokanok as a companion pet, make it some sort of a ridiculous grind or rare find, please.
Lokanok.
It was the spirit beast. The spirit. No, it's not a spirit beast. It is a spirit beast, but it's a spirit leopard.
It's a cat, right?
Leopard. Nice.
It's not spirit, but it looks like it's like icy.
No, it is a spirit. Yeah, it is. It's considered, but it doesn't look like that traditional spirit, and it's a leopard, not a cat.
Yeah, it's the favorite, the hunter. All the hunters back in the day, if you remember, the hunters would always post in the groups, and they would post on the forums that they finally tamed it, and it was like a real big, exciting thing. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Absolutely. No, it was a big deal when I got it for my hunter as well, and I started working on my professions a little bit better as far as like, I've neglected them the entire expansion for the most part. And I streamed on Friday. We were looking to do a stream of some sort.
We are going to do it. We're going to be doing a 24-hour stream. I just don't know when.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
I tried to put it together 3 days before Friday, and it was not the business.
It's tough, right? Yeah. So I'm down to participate in that, guys. Keep your ears out for a stream, and I did all kinds of things like the Pet Battle bonus event stuff, and I ran threes. I pugged threes on the arena, and we did quite well, except for at the end we lost 3 in a row, and once you lose 3 in a row and it's like the end of arena, it's time to call it and maybe regroup.
I'm going to give Donovan Remedies. I don't know who Donovan is. I'm going to give Remedies my Saturday. You're going to have my Friday, and then I'll probably stream Sunday. It's really hard for me to stream Friday and Saturday. I thought I was going to be able to do it. It's just not, between being domestic and finally getting game time and stuff. It just, Sunday is the day where it's more likely going to happen than it is any other day, because that's the day when I'm on Bertha. I thought it was going to be a thing, so I'm gonna let Rem have my Saturday, and then you could have Friday as you wanted, and we got Murky streaming throughout the week. So I am changing the schedule a little bit, but I need to set myself up for success rather than.
You know what I like though? I know it seems not in a bad way. You're playing a little less the last week or so, couple weeks. Not in a negative way.
Yes
like,
and
maybe
no.
Yeah, I like that because I think we all at time. I just watched the 2020 on gaming addiction, and maybe not.
Oh my god,
it's great. I'm not saying that we're all
My
crazy.
break was involuntary because I think I was depressed because of my kid stuff.
Yeah,
I could not get out. I couldn't even get out of bed.
But I saw such beautiful pictures of you and the family out for dinners and stuff. So it's just like it's great that I guess that's what I meant from that. I like to see that, and it's in between patches, right? It's a great time to go get some fresh air, everyone, or do stuff. And
don't.
The world is opening up. The world is opening up for me. My last child in August goes to school, so it'll be more. My husband has a career path that he's changing career paths. That'll put him not home. It's going to be a big open world of me alone. You know what I mean? Like
sliding with your socks.
Like I'm not going to have responsibility outside of work during the day. So I imagine you can find me in Azeroth in between work stuff, just kind of dinking around. I have balanced my life a little bit. You know, I've tried to balance it.
You put mad hours in.
You know what this is a big milestone for? It means you're getting older.
Well, what it is I spent the last 4 years just really doing everything.
Yeah.
Pwnecast related and not taking a break. So I have been just kind of pulling back, but it's just because it's the calm before the storm. I'm resting it out. Good. Speaking of which, I do want to make sure I give a shout out. Calm Before the Storm has 7 days. 7 days before they close. So if you guys help them out, go help them out. Go do their thing. However, if you are going to be in Anaheim, make sure you check out Calm Before the Storm. Yours truly is going to be producing along with Ro and Root, the World of Podcast section of that. It's going to be pretty amazing. But we love our Calm Before the Storm fam. These guys have been sharing our Kickstarter everywhere, and it's so nice that they've been doing that because technically we're adversaries in the Kickstarter world. But as long as we both fund, like we're super happy, and we're kind of like Wonder Twin powers. Like we hold Wednesday night, they hold Thursday night, and we just like combine the best because it's two totally different parties. So there's no like head-to-head competition really. And I love the guys at Calm Before the Storm. So
I think they're two different type of events. You know,
100%.
Ours is
Ours is shaking that booty.
Right, and theirs is just kind of like a spotlight on specific greatness for the game or individuals.
Art and being nerdy and podcasting, they cover so many different elements. But for Calm Before the Storm, guys, I'm going to play the bumper at the end of this. I think I might be able to do it right, question mark. I'm not 100% sure, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, guys, like, anyway, okay. I threw that in there, and it's Rem's time to tell us what he did this week. And wow, I didn't forget. What'd you do, Rem?
I did a lot of well, not a lot, but I did like 2 or 3 days worth of PvP. I got bored of that brawl and immediately went into arenas. I didn't do rated. Keep in mind, I did casual arenas with a bunch of randos, and I went like 8 or more and 0. So it was actually
nice. Got
me in a good mood for arenas. And Tempo with Jamili inspired me to get back on the Shadow Priest in arena.
Oh snap! So we're gonna have some arguments between you and Bell potentially next week. That tournament's happening this week, right? The PvP.
No, that's not for a while.
NA or EU. I think EU's this next weekend. It was this last weekend too. I stalked Talby on Twitter.
Stalker.
Well, he's old Tempo Storm too, so it's funny that I would stalk him. He's actually one of my favorite healers. But EU I believe is going to be again this weekend. I know it was last weekend.
Where's Method for EU? I wonder.
I have no idea. I want to watch EU, but it's not as fun for me as NA is, but it's in large part because I don't follow all the EU guys. I'm sure if I'm going to go back and watch the last 2 tournaments that I missed of EU and just kind of acquaint myself with the EU players so I feel more comfortable with it. That way I can root for the home team.
Spoilers, their last points.
Did you do anything else, Rem, other than PvP?
So much. In my head, I'm stabbing him with 1,000 steely knives right now. Yes, Rem. Did you do anything else? Because it wasn't helping me with World Quest earlier while I was dying as a healer.
I was preoccupied earlier.
He doesn't even love me anymore.
That's not true. Is it true, Rem?
I mean, I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah, Belle, we're here.
It's because of fear. Fear does amazing things.
I picture like Remedies as a withered with you, like as you guys grow older together. Like your mother following you. Yeah.
That's awful. Yeah. So for my week in WoW, we pretty much talked about it. I've been working on the Heal Monk. I unlocked the new traits, and I'm getting pretty well caught up with. I think I'm like, I don't even know what level I'm at, but I've been adding pretty good. I'm really good about during the day doing all my missions. So when I do log into WoW at nighttime, I have like all these tokens to learn, whether it's rep or AP on both Belle and the Monk, which is pretty nice. I don't know if anybody else does that, but
yeah, I've been starting, like I said, the last 3 weeks nonstop.
And when I log in at night, I've got like, I'll get at least half a trait just in that stuff, and then I'll be able to get a Paragon. I'm a little frustrated because I've been really trying hard for the Paragons for Nightfallen because I really want the carpet.
Oh.
Yesterday, I said a little prayer, and I was like, please, please, please let me get this carpet when I got the Paragon yesterday. This is like my 7th Paragon.
Right. You should work on your prayer game.
I closed my eyes and I right-clicked and I was like, I don't want to open my eyes. It's just going to be disappointment. And I was like, please, gods, please. I opened my eyes. It was fucking 655 gold. And I was like, I'm so done. I went on a mini rant. But then again, I get it, guys.
With herself.
I did. I was mad. Yeah. But then I realized if it was easy, it wouldn't be fun. So I'm not complaining that I'm not getting it. I know that feels when I do get it, it's going to feel really good. I'm probably going to get some bullshit that I don't want, like the Warden's costume. Like, that's going to be my curse.
Yeah, who wants that?
Freaking Rem.
Oh, does he?
Rem, do you want, is that true?
Do I want what?
Tell us what you want, what you really, really want.
I'll tell you what you want, what I really want. I want to.
He does. He wants the, yeah.
I can really spaced out. I'm
Zigazay.
sorry, not
so
sorry.
weird. So we're gonna go ahead and end it there, guys. After the show, stay on and listen to the Con Before the Storm bumper.
Please. Yeah.
Guys, I'm so tired.
I am too.
I don't know how I've stayed awake this long, but we are going to go ahead and get on out of here because we are exhausted. Hope we put on a good show. Secret Sauce, we missed you. Sorry, not sorry. The show must go on with or without you. That's how we roll. Doses.
With or without.
Just kidding. Seriously, we'll be back next week. Bye.
Go ahead, sing the song, Rem.
The Song of My People.
With or without.
Baby Groot is displeased.
Baby Groot.
Where'd you get that H2O? I thought you were at a Wawa.
I forgot that I brought and put it in my fridge up here.
During the segment.
I think it was during your segment, Gemma. I was really thirsty.
She rolled on back
I'm not
to the
thirsty.
fridge.
But I'm really healthy. I drink like 30 bottles of water a day.
We all are. We're all doing good.
H2O.
Hey, this is Heather and Dave, organizers for our 5th annual event, Con Before the Storm. This event means the world to us and the community, and for the last 4 years, none of this would be possible without you. Since 2013, when we began as World of Podcast, every year we have been humbled by the kindness of people in this community.
On Thursday, November 2nd, we plan to return with World of Podcast, our amazing fan art gallery featuring over 200 pieces of unique art, our meet and greet, where content creators like Bajira, esports team like Method, and celebrity personalities like Malik Forte, Pamela Horton, and Michelle Morrow have mingled with fans.
Our Kickstarter is currently in full swing. We want to hit our stretch goals to get a larger space, which includes a Frog Pants and A-Move TV meetup, plus potentially some other stretch goal surprises.
Thank you for taking the time to check out our campaign and for your continued support. Help us kick off BlizzCon celebrations this year at Con Before the Storm 2017. Party by fans, for fans. For more information, please visit conbeforestorm.com.